Hi guys.
Hey!
I don't know, how do we start an episode together?
I actually don't even know because I'm about to eat another thing of this. Wait, you know what we haven't done yet? It's been actually a little bit boring the last two episodes, I'm not gonna lie. Not as exciting. Last episode was good.
I was gonna tell you that.
Last week was good.
It's funny you say that because I was actually gonna tell you last week that while an eventful week, things obviously happened in the episode, it was the first time this season that I found myself bored.
Yeah. It's because the drama was very low stakes, low key.
Low stakes drama on The Bachelor.
However, I will say too, after, it's funny because we skipped last week with recording, which whatever. It was that last week's episode was the slow, 2 weeks ago episode was the slow one.
Save for Martin.
Right, but even that was it was like a anticlimactic spot because it wasn't, they gave us an annoying moment of him and then they took it away by giving him a rose.
So jumping right into it, you have thoughts.
Right, no, Martin is...
I want to hear about Martin.
Okay, so I feel really bad because I didn't want to judge him immediately for his hair.
Sure.
Because I have a friend who has bleached hair. We literally I helped them bleach it. I understand the bleach hair vibe can look good. For him, with the specific haircut and the eyebrow and
with
the look, yeah. It just wasn't giving the same chill guy with bleach hair vibe versus I'm a literal douchebag. And he proved himself to be a douchebag. I'm very no surprise. And he's a Cancer. This bitch is a Cancer. I know. Cancer men. You know who else is a grade A douchebag of another level who is a Cancer?
Tell me.
Bennett! And he's it's so funny because he's a different type of douchebag than Martin. Martin is the classic douchebag. He wears reflective orange sunglasses that are white and square, right? Or rectangular. And he calls all women in Miami high maintenance females.
With his bleached hair.
With his hair done. Yeah, that's what I couldn't handle. No, he's so embarrassing. But he's a Gemini moon, and that's kind of what makes sense to me because this is a good lesson on Cancer suns.
Yes.
Cancer and any kind of Cancer placement, Cancer rising as well, but Cancer sun and rising, it's whatever the moon sign is in is really gonna flavor that Cancer, whatever it is. So Olivia, my literal partner, is a Cancer sun, Sagittarius moon, and does have a lot of Sagittarius type qualities, right? My brother is a Cancer sun, Capricorn moon, and he definitely has a lot of Cap vibe. And he's also Cancer rising. So it's every Cancer I know. Oh, my friend Sean with the bleached hair. My friend Sean, Cancer sun, Scorpio moon. Definitely so much Scorpio vibe.
I was thinking even me.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Cancer moon.
I am the most Cancer Leo anyone's ever
you really
met.
are. You are, as we would say in astrology, you are a luminary. Because
makes me feel so special.
I mean, that is the point because the sun is special, and as is the moon, because whole cultures and so much is based around the sun and the moon rising. We wouldn't be able to literally live.
Yeah. Nothing would exist.
Exactly. Oh. So the Cancer sun people, Cancer rising people, it's that's why Cancers are so unpredictable. It's because they act like their moon signs. So if you don't know their moon signs, you're that's why people are Cancers are so moody. You never know. It's all this stuff, and it's well, it's because you don't. They're ruled by the moon, and the moon is moody. That's what it is. The moon changes signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So the Cancer people can literally change their vibe, change their mood every 2 to 2.5 days. So of course they seem moody, but it's really not that. It's just that they're always in line with the vibe of the moon, which is great. But anyway, so that being said, Cancers are moody. You just have to know their moon signs.
And then Martin.
Martin is Gemini moon.
So how would that... So I was thinking about this because, like, I know the basics about, like, moon signs and, like, what... Like, I know what, like, your rising sign means and, like, your moon sign means and, like, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not well-versed on how they, like, relate to each other, right? So, like, Michelle's a Gemini, and, like, we talked a little bit off camera about Michelle and some of her Gemini qualities. Yes. And I'm curious how this is, like, played into her business with Martin.
So, okay. So, clearly, Michelle is somewhat into Martin. Like, at least from the first episode. Like, since we're talking 2 episodes, so we're talking, like, his one-on-one date episode. Yes. Right? And where he's out with her, and they do the car date, and they sit in the weird metal tub. Which, by the way, like, I think it was cold, because when they got in, Michelle's face was, like, doing the like, the face of she literally goes, like, you could, like, see her, like, do the, like, where you kind of tense a little bit as you're getting in. Yeah. And so I think it was cold because it was the summer in California, so it was probably hot outside. So it was probably a cold tub.
And then that comes right off of their, like, adrenaline fueled
right? Date. Which really looked lit.
I would love to go.
Yeah.
I would love to go. But, like, we know, and we've talked about the fact that The Bachelor and The Bachelorette have habits of these, like, skydiving dates. Like, dates that are intended to, like, raise your adrenaline and thus make
connect
you more... You. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not always... the come down is hard.
As we've seen.
But with Martin, okay, so it's interesting because, I am starting to really think that Michelle might be a Cancer rising or a Pisces rising. Really, any of the water risings would track to me.
Okay.
I could make a case probably for all of them. However, the Cancer rising is different because if she's a Cancer rising, she would be a Scorpio moon, because her moon sign changes if she's born at, like, it's like early in the morning, basically, like a little after sunrise is when the moon changes. So most of the day and the night, right? So there are more hours of the day that she could be a Sagittarius moon than Scorpio moon.
Sure.
So probability wise, I think she's just a Sag moon in the way that she exists. But the Cancer of her, like, and it could just be a really strong Mercury. Maybe she's a Virgo rising. I would consider, maybe, because she's our age. She's Aquarius Saturn. So if she's a Virgo rising, okay. Whenever I guess risings, if we think back to Matt's season, every time I would guess a rising sign, I would lean right over to the 7th house, which is their partners, right, and the dating. And with the seventh house is strong on this show. Wait, no, she's not an Aquarius Saturn. She's a Pisces Saturn. So if she's a Virgo rising, her Saturn would be in the 7th house, which low-key I could see, because she's talking on this date with Nate, when she talked about her relationship that was essentially so bad that she made herself physically sick. And I could see that. So Saturn, all right. Oh, God. Okay, man. I got to organize my thoughts. All right. So every house in our chart, 1 through 12, is ruled by a planet based on the sign that the house is in, right? And that means almost every house, except for the Leo and Cancer houses, because that's the only 2 signs ruled by the sun and the moon. Every other house has, like, a duplicate, right? It's because there's 2 signs ruled by 1 planet.
Right.
So if oh wait, no, because Pisces. Oh my God. Well, this is wow, y'all. Sorry. No. So either way, Pisces. If she's a Virgo rising and she has Pisces Saturn in the 7th house, Saturn would rule her 5th house, which is dating, hobbies, dating, hobbies, and sports. Literally, like, that stuff. So having a Saturn ruled 5th is pretty common. And Saturn stuff is common for sports people because of the discipline it requires to be an athlete. And also Jupiter too, because Jupiter is like luck, and you got to have a little bit of luck involved to be able to like win things, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's an individual sport, but team sports it's a little different. Anyway, if she's a Saturn in the 7th, rules her 5th house, rules her 6th house would be Saturn, because Saturn would be Capricorn would be your 5th house, Aquarius would be your 6th house, Pisces would be your 7th. So her relationship sending her into like physical sickness could indicate that her relationship stuff, aka 5th house and 7th house, both of those houses indicate relationships of either way, both casual or serious, goes back to her 6th house, which is a Saturn ruled house in Aquarius. So it's like a transitive property in math where it's like, if this means this, then this means this, then this means this. Like this is kind of how I see it with this house rulership stuff. It all overlaps. But anyway, that being said, her Saturn could be answering to those things, which could be possible. And then, if she's a Virgo rising, she'd be ruled by Mercury. Mercury is obviously the mental, the thinking, the writing, the teaching, like that stuff, like big time Mercury. So, and a Cancer Mercury,
I was just about to say,
would be in the 11th. Wait, okay, if she's a Virgo rising, it would be Leo 12th house.
Do you think that?
And she doesn't feel seen on that fucking group date? And Leos need to be seen, and that 12th house is like the one spot where the sun does not want to be the 12th house. It is literally the hidden house. It is what everything is hidden from us. We don't feel like it would make sense. Ooh! Yes, horn outside. I agree. I am really feeling this could be possible. All right, and I'm going to now ponder this. Because Virgo rising, she gives me so much mutable energy. Like having Virgo rising would be Gemini sun, Sag moon. Oh my God.
Michelle, call us.
No, really though. And what
Shannon
sucks
would
is
love
Michelle like she's not like online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She posts on her Instagram to like keep it up. But she's, whereas Katie is like online, like she's on TikTok, she's seeing the pop culture, she's listening to fucking Taylor Swift, she's doing all that stuff that everyone else is doing. Michelle's just doing it. She's just there. She's whatever. Yeah. She posts because she should, because she's the Bachelorette, and this show is probably like, hey, can you like give us promo your season? Like, but anyway, wow. Cancer Mercury the 11th, though I could see that ruled by a Sag moon, and she only posts because she just there's a lot to think about. Michelle, I need to know your rising sign. So Virgo rising is my only other thought that's not water. Any other of her rising signs I could see water, because of the way Pisces, because if she's a Virgo rising, the Pisces rising would make sense because it's similar energy of like, I'm serving you, I'm giving to you, I need somebody to give to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow. Much to consider. But anyway, that being said, back to all this synastry shit. So no matter what, Gemini sun, your original question was about Martin and how they would go together, because this is what happens when you're an astrologer with ADHD. It's like 10 million tangents.
It never leaves. The astrology never stops.
No, it really doesn't. It doesn't. Also because that's the hardest part with astrology. It always informs itself. So when you make one thought, you're like, oh my God, then this would mean this, and then this would mean this. And so it just like turns into a whole thing. But anyway, so Martin with the Gemini moon and Michelle with the Gemini sun, anybody with sun moon, same sun and moon, you're going to connect pretty well, because the moon person, so in this case, Martin.
Yes.
Feels emotionally seen by the sun person because they're the moon, the emotions part, right? Whereas the sun person is good at obviously like reading into like deeply understanding this moon person, but also can feel, as Michelle said, seen by the moon person, and feels like they get to be their full self. And that moon person really enjoys watching the sun person be their full self, because the moon person is like, that's who I want to be like, because that moon, No, literally, as Olivia being a Sagittarius moon and I'm a Sagittarius sun, like it is true how the moon isn't as, like, the moon sign isn't as loud as a sun sign because it's internal,
Okay.
and it's only your closest people really see it all the time. Only, you know what I mean? Like, and it's so funny with you. I think about it. You are like, you know, like chef. You're like, you walk around very tough. You have a different exterior than when I know you, where I'm like, you are a mushy little Cancer moon. But you don't show that to people. And so that's it. That's the moon.
Not the salami.
It's okay. It's just one side. Okay, so yeah, sun and moon, it's nice. However, water sun and air sun in this case, so is not always as compatible. And I wish I knew any of these people's rising signs, however, Martin gives me fire rising, Libra rising, gives me Aries rising, low key. He's very chaotic. And the way he was reacting to the card date is what was leaning me toward a fire sign, because the adrenaline required there, you know?
Yeah.
Also,
Like, you saw Michelle clinging for her life.
No, she was yeah. No,
she was
but
like
also
smiling and stuff, but you could see the fear in her fucking face.
And
like, she was literally like,
literally.
The card, no, it's okay.
The card, no, you're good. The card
This
date.
episode is featuring Olivia.
Yes,
Yeah,
this episode features Olivia. So if Olivia is talking in the background, that's it.
The car date?
Remember
from
when they were on the
last week.
one-on-one date? It was not last week, but the week before.
Right.
Why was she holding on for her? Like,
Because
They were
Martin
in
was
the back of
driving,
the car and they were zoom, zoom, zoom.
and he was driving really fast.
oh, and that's what you think of fire rising?
It's like a Mazda commercial.
Yeah, it was. I mean, no, it wasn't even. It was a BMW, or what was it? Because there was a specific brand of car. That
I
it
don't
was
recall.
it was like a
Not my thing.
BMW or a Bentley or a some shit, whatever. But it was
something cool.
because
like
the person
yeah.
leading the date was from the car company and was basically talking
He sent
about,
the
oh,
sales
this car.
guy out there
No,
for a test
straight
drive.
up, this was like used car salesman level. Like, yeah, he was vibing. He was doing a good job though.
Amazing.
But anyway, so I could see fire for him.
Okay.
And I don't know if she's a fire rising. The only fire rising I could maybe toy with for her is Leo. But you know,
and correct me if I'm wrong.
and at this
please.
point now I have like 6 rising sign guesses.
But it's like there would have to be something in her chart that would indicate that she would be attracted to being on a show.
She, yes, true. She is
Right?
Yes, I mean, yeah. Well, if she's a Virgo rising, Virgo risings have Gemini 10th house, and that would mean her sun would be in the 10th house, and usually 10th house sun people are very visible, like they're very forward, because the 10th house is the most public house that you can, like, it's like the career house. It's the most visible spot in our chart because it's at the very top, and it's where it's like whatever sign was straight above your head when you were born, like high noon, right? So, and literally if you're born at noon, that is when your sun is in the 10th house. Usually it's because the sun is high in the sky.
Yeah.
And because if you think about our chart, the circular chart, the middle axis is our horizon. So it's like our land. So underneath us, where we can't see, like the other hemisphere of the chart, is the bottom of the chart. And that's all the stars. So all of those signs on the bottom half of your chart, whatever your rising sign is, any of the signs that are signs, houses like 2 through almost 2 through 6 are like under us. They are visible to the other hemisphere of the globe, whereas the other signs 7 through 1-ish really are above us, or they're at the horizon. So you could look over one, look at the east side, this side, look at the west side, and it's this one, right? And then north above our heads is all the other signs in all of that order. So that's how the circular chart is built up. So back to, you're born at noon, you have sun in the 10th. Born in the middle of the day for whatever time zone you're in.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that being said, those people tend to be very happy being visible, and a famous would not surprise me, right? Because think about it, right? Like the sun is up, they're the sun up there, like that's where they want to be. Like, put me out.
Segue this into the group date with her not feeling seen?
Yeah, and this is where it's very possible. God, the Virgo rising argument is really strong because if she has sun in the 10th house, yet the sun rules her 12th house, this would explain this fucking group date. 100%. Also because she definitely seems to, like, she thinks a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And Virgos are sometimes some overthinkers. And she's all about, she says it over and over, I'm all about communication. No matter what, Mercury is playing a big role in whatever her chart ruler is doing.
Yeah.
And Mercury is either her chart ruler, it's in the 1st house, maybe it's in the 7th. So, God, if she was in the 7th, I don't think she's a Cap rising, actually. I don't see that. She's too fun and, like, enjoy.
She is.
Yeah.
She is very, like, jovial.
Yeah, exactly. Like, which jovial is a Jupiter word.
Didn't know that.
Because Jupiter is Jove.
All right, let's talk group date.
Yeah.
We got feelings about group date.
Okay, so we started with, I did mention, yes, it would make a lot of sense if she was a Virgo rising, ruled by Cancer, Mercury in the 11th house, but having a sun in the 10th with the 12th house ruled by the sun, and she doesn't feel seen. And she doesn't feel seen specifically when she's not getting attention. Because it's one thing to not feel seen when you're getting attention that's like the incorrect type of attention, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's so many different ways that somebody could say that word, I don't feel seen, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that way that she was saying it, I don't feel seen because I am not having people pay attention to me, is very sun-like behavior in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I do think that we were briefly discussing this before, but I do believe that there is there are two things here. I think that Michelle is completely is right, and that everybody should be fucking falling on top of her because it's the Bachelorette and that is their job. These men are idiots. These men are literal idiots. Like I don't think any of them are smart. And I've been seeing have you been seeing the DMs that we've been getting about Nate?
No.
So apparently I've been seeing shit that's like Nate was out in Austin, LOL, probably on fucking 6th Street, but he was like flirting with girls basically. And so one thing though, if he's not with Michelle and he's flirting with women, then like
it's fine.
Then who cares?
Yeah.
But it's like seems very like, you know, possible that he's ending up with her, at least from the show. So who knows what's going on? But I've been getting those DMs, and I'm very sad because I want Nate to win. Because at least as far as the show, he is the best option. Joe's nice, but Joe has like no. He's got no oomph. Like he's very like he's a very single note, like one note person.
Flat.
Yeah, and it's like, and he's very pretty.
I don't know if I don't even know. I know what you mean.
Because I think that, you know, and he's been through shit and he had, you know, and he is a good basketball player, but it's like, I don't know. Other than like I was okay. I'll say, wait, we're getting off track from the group date, but I was expecting Joe when Joe talked about his you know the PTC, the backstory stuff. I was expecting basketball to be involved, but I was also expecting like maybe something else was there, like, but it was like an entirely basketball related thing. Yeah. And so even more, I was like, okay, I understand your personality is basketball, yeah, but damn, I was hoping that would give me something else. But because even it was an injury that affected his mental health, which completely fair. I have a brother. My brother is, you know, he's an athlete and was a college athlete and all sorts of stuff, and he was very good. And it is a weird transition period. Even if you're not injured, which Joe was, but my brother was not, but it's like, it's still a weird point.
It's a lifestyle change, like drastic lifestyle change.
And especially because statistically, even if you're Mr. Basketball, even my brother too was basically like swimmer extraordinaire as a teenager, all that stuff, there's a point where you're done. And also, even those people like aren't going to go pro. Like you're not the likelihood of you going pro athlete is so slim. Like, almost always. And so I am sad for Joe, but I really am excited to see what happens for him after this show. But I wonder, anyway, he's pretty though. He's got really nice eyelashes.
He does have really nice eyelashes.
You know?
Even the bottom lashes.
Yeah, exactly. Like fully.
Nice. With a group date.
I feel bad for the men because I feel like they were being directed to do things because you need footage of them doing all of the things, right?
Okay, so it looked real fucking fun to me.
No, like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Straight up.
Like,
all of that shit looked so fun. I completely agree.
I was talking to my...
Maybe it was a trap. And they were like, here's so much fun stuff. And Michelle, free reign. Choose wisely.
We were talking about the fact that it was like no one was leading the date. Like they were kind of just like let loose in a room. And to be okay. So I had this thought, right? Because there were slumber parties or like birthday parties, like especially not every slumber party is like that. Very few slumber parties have like all of the things.
That felt like a birthday party at a like movie theater where you have like an arcade of this, a bowling alley or whatever. And
that was not like the standard slumber party. Exactly. So, like, that's a cool experience in and of itself, but, like, how many boys growing up, like, how many of these men actually had the opportunity to experience something like that at all?
Okay, so, for real, though.
So, like, as an adult who has experienced, like, those kind of birthday parties and things, like...
It's fun as fuck.
I would love to do that. I would love to just, like, go and have, like, a bottle of champagne with some friends and, like, get fucking... foot baths and cotton candy and like stuff, like all that shit. Like that'd be so fun to be silly for a day
and like make a massive teddy bear. They were all really hype about the teddy bears.
So how do you like let these poor men loose in that room and not expect them to go wild with the things? Like I wish Michelle would have been partaking in the things with them. I know she was trying with like the cotton candy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was
I understand wanting to be chased. I get we talked off camera about this as well. Like I understand wanting to be like, give me attention. Like I'm very like that. I'm sorry to super hot partner, but but like I get it. But like if that's not the case and like you see something happening and you don't like it, like I've learned in therapy that you have to like do something about it. Like if you see the men going and building a teddy bear, like go and stand with them and then see who talks to you first. Like but like to cross the whole room when they're experiencing a foot bath, some of them for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Literally, this is truly one of those moments where, like, you can tell that, like, because when you go on the show, no matter what.
Imagine your very first scalp massage.
No,
Shannon.
for real. Like
come on.
When you go on the show, you know you got to get ready. You got to get rid of your phone. You don't get to talk to anybody outside the outside world. You only have these people. And so at a certain point on the show, too, you just have to submit yourself to whatever the fuck is happening. And so for something to be happening on a date that isn't torture, like, no, like straight up, like most of the fucking group dates are torture. Like they are fighting each other. They're eating weird things. They're doing strange shit on high spaces. They're doing dangerous stuff. Like they literally... They don't usually get to just do stuff that's just fun and cute. This is like the moment. And I feel...
They literally had a judgment-free space to play Duck, Duck, Goose as adults.
No, like straight the fuck up. And they were like, no, really though.
Can you imagine if you could literally like be in a room with your friends and like, yeah, exactly. Like just be fucking silly.
So yeah, back to two things can be true. I do agree. Michelle, they should be falling all over you.
Yes.
But should every single one of them not be doing any of the activities to only talk to you? Probably not. Like they need footage of them doing the shit.
To be fair, people. The men really can't. Okay, I never thought I would ever say this. This should never be taken out of context. Like this clip is. Like,
oh my god! Right.
But like, let's cut the men a little slack. Like, let's forgive the men for a second, okay? Because they really. Here it is. The men can't win here.
Okay? No, yes. Again, back to was it a setup?
Because, which I fucking hate that I've not said that twice. But it's like, they know that if they do go and they steal time, they'll be vilified and like it'll become a bad drama spin. And if they act nice like this, it looks like they don't want Michelle's attention or they don't want time with her.
Also,
So they really
who
are in a
knows?
bad
Maybe
spot.
they did. Maybe people did talk to her during the date, and they edited it out because they wanted to create this narrative. Because the
Well, 'cause
editors
they
do
did-
this shit.
They did show the men being like, "Nah, man, like, have you gotten time with her yet? Like, yeah, I want to wait until blah blah blah." Like, they were like discussing the order in which to talk to her. They were trying to be like diplomatic about it, and that's still a bad thing.
Yeah, because at that point too, like most of the quote unquote villains were gone. Like, say for Chris S, who really hadn't even emerged yet as a potential villain.
Yeah.
So anyway, they can't win. And no matter what, it's like any group date situation on this show, on either The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, there is no, like, the producers are completely fucking you no matter what. I mean, we saw with Jamie, like, the producers are not your friends. So the producer's telling you to do almost anything, even if it is, hey, go play around with all the stuff so we can get B-roll of you guys. Make sure all of you play with everything, because it's, maybe they could fucking lie. They say, it's all sponsored, so we need you to go and do it, even though they didn't sponsor, they didn't say anything about it. You know, like, there's so much they could have fucking done. So I feel for the men, but I also feel for Michelle, because there should be, but it's you should, but also, you know what I think? I wonder, are they giving this edit to Michelle to make the men look bad or to make Michelle look bad? Because they gave it to Claire to make her look bad in that moment.
I feel
like they're trying to make the men look bad here because they like Michelle more.
No, I wonder if it's just like she was sold something else. Like, the producers probably told Michelle, like, yeah, like, the group dates will be great because all the men will be like pulling you, like, all the men are going to be fighting over you. So now she has expectations, whether it be like conscious or unconsciously, for the men to behave a specific way, and then the men are being, you know, because regardless, it's going men. Anyone who thinks about being on a show like this, the producers are not doing anything for you. They're doing it for us.
Yeah, exactly, for TV.
For us to talk about.
They need.
That's literally it. They're not doing it for you. They're doing it so that we have something to discuss.
Exactly. So, anyway, I just think this date was unfortunate because it was like cute and it looked like it could have been so fun for everybody, but it just like became such a mess. But then it ended up being Michelle and then Portia just lecturing them, and then with the cocktail party, this is when Chris S steps up and decides to make a scene. And I just already in that moment,
this grand gesture.
Yeah, but in that moment too, I was just like, what are you doing? This is the wrong gesture. And trying to and not only that, it's one thing if he tried to speak up to the men without Michelle there. Like, you know how sometimes they stand up there and they'll stand up to the men and they'll toast, and then when Michelle walks down, they're like, oh, and they sit down, and then they're not interrupting Michelle.
Yes.
But Chris straight up just interrupts Michelle. Like, he wanted to show off to Michelle. He wanted that to be visible to her so that he could be like, oh, you guys should just be treating her better. I don't have notes on whatever he said, but...
Well, no, I don't have specifics either. I was just like, fucking Chris S. Like,
no, what did he do?
But it's like how we talked about how Katie wanted to create those, viral moments. Like, Katie did things that she probably wouldn't have done had there not been a camera and an opportunity for exposure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you behave in a specific way when you're in front of a camera, when you're
Chris, I think, wanted to
fake these moments.
Yeah, Chris was trying to get some screen time.
Yeah, he was trying to, create this moment where people are like, oh my god, look at Chris. What a, yes, absolutely screen time. But, the stuff that follows screen time with, wow, what a gentleman. Look at him. And it's just so poorly executed and, tacky. Also, the way that Michelle literally was just thanks, Chris. Literally just, sit down now. It was the classic, teacher shit of, thank you for sharing. When some student says something extremely unhinged out of nowhere while sitting and you're just teaching out of nowhere, and then you're just thank you for sharing. Anyway, that was Michelle's energy. That was nice of you to add. She was just great. Yeah. But then so I don't even remember what they talked about, but who cares? He got the rose on that night. So, but anyway, let's just fast forward to. Wait, was Rick's date? Rick's date was that week. And I love Rick's. Yes. I have not much to say about Rick's date other than OMG, this poor man with his fucking
dad who's like, I thought my dad like he basically thinks that he is to blame for his dad dying by committing by no. Like I literally
have like he gives such happy-go-lucky sad boy energy.
This is
that is Rick.
That's Pisces. Like he has to be a Pisces. He's like Claire and has a Pisces Aries, like it's like right on the edge. And he sent me his birthday, and then I asked for his birth time, and he did not reply. So Rick
call
please,
us.
I'm literally obsessed with you, and I promise that I'm not going to do anything other than compliment you. Where most of the time I'm trying to get charts so that I can roast people. But Rick, I love you.
Not you, Rick.
And I really just want to know why he has the eyes that he, like the facial expression that he has. That's like why I want to know his rising sign so badly, because the rising sign rules our face, guys. So I'm literally like, why does he look like that? Like, why does he make those faces that so many people find so creepy, but I genuinely find endearing? I think he's hysterical.
So my take on Rick, I told you he gives me like happy-go-lucky sad boy energy,
Yes.
and then literally after energy says, but he scares me a little. Like I'm not saying that Rick could be a serial killer, but someone who behaves like Rick and ended up being a serial killer, I'd be like, we should have known.
I see what you mean. Yeah. No,
but like
I
not
understand.
Rick. Like I don't think Rick is a bad guy.
Exactly.
But he reminds me of someone who could be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I
see what you mean on that trajectory.
But I like Rick. I don't know how to explain the feeling that he gives me.
No, I understand.
It's not a bad feeling.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like people find him uneasy because of his eyes, and I'm trying to understand why specifically his eyes, like what happened.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because there is
Rick, who are you?
No, like literally, like there's something up with that, and I don't think I genuinely don't look at. I don't think he's creepy. I just think he's like, first of all, he says he's a by the way, too, this is some background. His real job dropped, basically. He's not a medical sales rep. He is a model. And his modeling photos were so good. Like, he doesn't have those eyes always. And so I'm wondering if, like, what it is about him that in these moments, I wonder if he's just nervous and he's thinking. But,
yeah.
I don't know. Jamie also had some very interesting eyes that would do a lot of like eyebrows would be all over, and he very, very squinty and like kind of like shifty with the eyes, and so it's hard to tell like sometimes but Rick seems fine, and Rick's just like he literally is just precious to me. Whenever he was walking on in the nature part, and he was like I just love dates like this, and he goes, I love enjoying the small sounds.
Okay, so here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. I find Rick endearing.
Sounds.
I find Rick endearing. I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you. And maybe it's because I've been consuming a lot of true crime lately, but like everything that you said, if spoken through a creepy lens, would be like, I love dates like this. Like out in the woods.
No!
I love all the small sounds. You know what I mean? And that it's not Rick. It's just like I
know, no, it's so funny. I understand.
He's like the good he's like the good guy version. Like he would have the evil twin that was the serial killer, but he's like the good. You know what I mean?
I really am wondering if he's a Gemini rising. Like I kind of could see it, and that's probably why I find him endearing, because I'm also Gemini rising, and I just understand that people sometimes don't get it. But I literally am obsessed with Rick.
I do love him.
So
if you're ever in New York, we'll take you out for drinks.
Well, he's seriously, God, he's wonderful. So, but anyway, I loved their date, and he was really sweet to Michelle, and also really sweet with his story, and also everything was just really nice. So good shit. But okay, rose ceremony, everybody. Who cares?
I don't even have a list of who got the roses. I'm telling you.
I don't think I have a list on them either. But it doesn't matter because we have another episode, so we'll have the final end count of who's here. But the first date is Joe, which I didn't like. I like understand, but also don't like why that Joe had the Minneapolis date, because he's from there.
Exactly.
And then they went to her high school, which I can't relate.
I would never.
No, literally, I think it's so funny how you and I are like Chiron in the third. I'm literally like, I can't. I would never. That being said, Michelle and Joe go to her high school.
Yes.
They play basketball. They go on a date and they go throw a pitch at a baseball game, and then they go to dinner. They go to a Ferris wheel. They literally do so much fucking shit.
So, remember when we talked about the dates, and I had dates for the birth chart of the group date where they were fighting, the Top Gun date?
Oh, yeah.
Because the basketball date was on the 7th, that this hometown date was on the 15th.
Oh, right.
This baseball date was on the 15th of August, my birthday.
Oh, that's right. Let me look at it then.
First pitch was at 2:11 Eastern time.
Beauty. So 1 p.m. So her pitch was probably then. All right. The moon was in Scorpio. Oh my God. Wait. God damn it. This kind of makes me think about wondering if it was her lunar return and they were going back to the high school.
Mm.
And if she was a Pisces rising with lunar Scorpio 9th house going back to school, or Scorpio 3rd house, which would be Virgo rising. Oh my God.
Astrology detective
possibly
over here.
Okay, well, either way, so moon was in Scorpio that day. Mercury and Mars were in Virgo, and they were about almost conjunct. Sun was in Leo. Venus was also in Virgo. Wow. And that's Jupiter, was retrograde in Aquarius. God, this feels so recent. I mean, it was so recent. Like, this astrology is like, oh, God, I remember it. But, wow, well, interesting. The Scorpio moon really makes me wonder, because remember, Michelle and Joe have the same fucking birthday. And
I did forget that, actually.
Right? So their birthday, same day, same exact day, born in the same fucking place. So depending on what time they're born, they could have the same or different moon signs. And if they have different moon signs, one of them could be a Scorpio moon. And if this was someone's lunar return, would be interesting. I feel like it could maybe be Joe's. Joe kind of gives me Scorpio energy because he's more reserved than Michelle is, which would make me think she's Sag moon. God. Anyway. God damn. But their date was nice. Joe was very.
Joe is nice.
Yeah, Joe was fine. I mean, again, they mirror each other a lot. She said, "You remind me of my brother and my father," and I'm literally like,
"He reminds you of you."
You, girl, it's you that he reminds you of. Like, you don't realize it, but it's you because you two are so similar. Even if, like, even if they have different rising signs, all of these planets are going to still interact in really similar ways and present themselves everywhere. So anyway, also, whenever Joe said that he broke his foot in 7th grade, again, I was astrologizing because I was like, damn, okay, this is a big moment. I mean, every, like, major moment that you can, like, track in your life, like, those things you remember for a long time, like, things like this, are usually attached to a very intense transit, like, no matter what it is. Or specific to a perfection year. Or specific to a planetary return. Like, or, you know, who knows? So when he was like 7th grade, I was like, okay, how old are you in 7th grade? Like 13, 12?
Yeah.
Right? And that's a first house year. And I was thinking about Joe's rising sign. And Joe, I was thinking, might be a Pisces rising because he has a Saturn in Pisces in the first house. And he was talking about how at around age 12 in 7th grade is when he broke his foot. Or was the foot? There was 2 injuries. One of them was foot. And one of them was something else. Leg. I think leg was later. Or maybe foot was later. Either way,
yeah.
He broke his foot. And Pisces Saturn. Pisces literally rules the foot. And so Saturn.
Yeah, we talk about this often. I feel like this keeps coming up.
Saturn. Right? Oh, because of Claire. No, but Saturn too also rules bones. So it's literally.
Oh.
Yeah. So to me, I'm like, you broke your foot. What was Saturn doing? What was happening to his Saturn in his chart at that time. That's what I was thinking about. Especially again, because back to Saturn, discipline, sports, it's common. So whatever is going on in his chart, Saturn is doing something. So I really was intrigued whenever he said that, and it made me, again, back to wondering his rising sign. I also could see him being a Pisces rising because he has those eyes that look like they're just like peering through the water at you, if that makes sense. Like it looks like he's under the water and it's just like comes out and it's just like, hello. Like he's...
Well, it's because his eyes look like when you're like looking up from underneath the water.
Yeah.
At the sun hitting the water. His eyes like look like that. Like that blue with the yellow.
Exactly. Just very glistening colors, and he's got like...
And those lashes.
No, again, like I really could see him being Pisces rising. If he's a Pisces rising, he would be ruled by Jupiter, which is, he has Libra, Jupiter. And we all know Libras are very pretty. So I sees it. But anyway, so that being said, yeah, crazy shit with Pisces Saturn. Also, again, yeah, it's wild to me that we're getting to the point where we're having bachelors and bachelorettes that have Pisces Saturns, because that's younger than us. With Aquarius Saturn. And Michelle is born in 93, but there was this quick dip in 93 into Pisces, Saturn Pisces, before it retrograded back into Saturn Aquarius at the end of 93. So there's some 93 and early 94 people that have Aquarius Saturn, whereas there's a quick little bit of people of us millennials that have Pisces Saturn. Well, technically, I think that all Pisces Saturn people are still millennials, even the people who think they're zillennials or whatever.
Yeah.
But Aries Saturn is the true start of Gen Z. But
it's 2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because Pisces. Well, no, it's 98-ish. Okay. 97-8 is when. Fine. Is Aries Saturn. But the Pisces Saturn folks are definitely still millennials because they have the Uranus Neptune Capricorn situation. Anyway, so back to being, that's just the Pisces Saturns are the last bit of the millennials, and soon we're gonna have some fucking Gen Z bachelors, bachelorettes, which is gonna be weird. Insane. I can't think about that. We're already having Gen Z, plenty of Gen Z as contestants, as players, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we're gonna start seeing like 21, 22-year-olds next season because they always go.
I mean, Kit was peak Gen Z. Her Sag Pluto was like late. It was like mid-degree Sag. I was like, oh. She was young.
She grows on me by the day, though.
No, I literally love following. She does
some things.
I love following her so much, even though her food content is fine. It's fine. My favorite food content, I sent it to you, is Kirpa. Do you remember Kirpa? Mm-hmm. She's so cute because her food content, it makes sense. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah. Like, and it's not even like it's like something that it's like amazing food stuff where it's like very like Kit tries to make food that's like she names her recipes, cute things, and types them out and has her same picture. She's very specific with like how she's presenting her food. Whereas Kirpa,
she has her Canva template.
Yeah, like, literally that. Whereas Kirpa literally basically does shit like this. She's like holds her food and she's like, we're making this today. And like her silly little videos, and I'm obsessed. So good for Kirpa. But anyway, wow. So okay, Michelle and Joe's date, yeah, whatever. They're the same.
He was always
person.
Gonna get a rose.
Yeah,
he's gonna go relatively far.
Yeah, Joe and Nate are the top two.
I honestly think my prediction, and I haven't been spoiled, but my prediction is like if anyone was going to leave of their own volition, it was gonna be Joe.
Agree, because he ghosted her once.
Yeah. I think that, like, if there's going to be some kind of, like, this person leaving when she's not ready drama, it's going to be Joe leaving.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a blessing, because then she's going to end up with
whoever.
I have my suspicions, but...
so anyway, and then the group date is just dumb Viking shit. Like, she clearly... Like, this episode was almost offensive with the date structure, because it was clear that the one-on-one dates are the only few people she really gives a shit about, save for... Brandon and so whatever.
I think that this date was after it was decided, not after it was discussed, but after it was decided in some back room somewhere at some boardroom table that Clayton was going to be the next bachelor.
Oh.
I think that this, because like it was too much like for him. You know what I mean? Like he is like
I mean, unless they gave him a fucking an actual football date.
No, but it's like if there's gonna be like I don't think it was to showcase his talent. I think it was to showcase his like perceived hotness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he is like that like broad shoulder type man. Like he's like that Viking, and he didn't get a ridiculous outfit like Chris S.
Beefy. No,
right?
His outfit did look like cute on guys.
Exactly. So I think that this was kind of like a, you know what? Like I think we're gonna make Clayton the Bachelor. Like let's.
Yeah, maybe actually.
Because it did seem thrown together last minute. Like it was total bullshit.
Well,
it could have been a more structured date. We know this.
And oh god, it was a mess. I mean, the Viking dudes were funny. I thought they were cute.
It was a fun date. I liked the silliness.
And they were all. I liked when they were all yelling. I thought it was stupid, but like whatever. Who cares? And Michelle was so funny. She was just like, "Good job, everybody! Yay!" like, and then they gave Clayton the group date rose. Both got the Viking thing and the rose, and the date later wasn't even like there wasn't. Oh, this was her after party dress. That lime green dress, sparkly thing that was long sleeve, short. That was the best fucking dress. She looks so good.
I don't know anyone who can pull off green like Michelle. Pull off green for real.
I swear.
Isn't this like her second or third green dress?
Yeah, she's had a couple green.
I like the green.
I'm really looking through these dates, and they're also. It was just like whatever. She said,
"Who got the second one-on-one?"
Nate got the one-on-one. Remember? And then Chris interrupted it.
I don't remember.
Oh, well, so the group date doesn't really have much else that's exciting. I mostly just laughed. I just feel like she's very Gemini. Like, she's just playing the part with these men, and she's tricking them. She likes to, like she loves, whenever she was like, Brandon, I have a surprise for you. And he's like, it's not fish, right? She's like, well, it is Nordic fish. Haha, here you go. And it's fucking Swedish fish, like candy. And this is kind of when the men are, this is when Chris doesn't talk to her because he's being weird. And he's thinking that, like, I warned her about Nate and he's going to get the one-on-one and I'm mad, basically. And she didn't listen to me. And so I have to go, why is she not talking to me? He was very annoying, very, like, pick me, look at me, talk to me. He was Libra. He's a Libra. Double Libra.
He's like the,
Libra men want attention.
That's what I'm looking for. Like the opposition to like how Michelle was behaving on her group date. Like she
was
the same principle, like same concept, but Michelle was more like.
Michelle was pouting and was like trying not to cry. She was
internalizing it. Yeah.
Well, she's a woman, and Chris is a man.
Got him.
Ding ding. So Chris was trying to be a dick about it, and this was his beginning, and so he ignores her, and then she kind of comes out and is like, where's Chris? And then she literally gives out the group date rose when he's not around. Like, I couldn't believe how she was like, okay, fuck it, bye. Like, and then that's when we have the one-on-one date with Nate, which I'll get to, but Chris, we'll talk about Nate afterward, but Chris is part of the one-on-one date where he is all built up to like, I just have to go tell her what's really up about Nate. And I'm like, you're such an idiot, man. She wants to fuck this guy. Like, he's going to top 2. Who are you? And he shows up to that date, and Nate literally looks at him and like, is like, what the fuck?
I literally don't remember any of this, but I can like also kind of.
No, it was like, because he walks in, he's like, hey, Michelle, can I talk to you for a second? And Nate literally is like, because you know how Nate does that smile thing that he does, which is so hot and annoying. It's frustratingly hot, where you're like, he has, like, it's like, okay. This is the equivalent of when you're at the bar with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and you're trying to maybe order the drink or something, and he's not like 100% making it. It's like not 100% obvious that you're with someone, and you try to get hit on, and then your boyfriend notices and he's like laughs along and is like, oh, hey, dude. And it's like kind of, it's like hot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you know. It's hot. And Nate does that exact thing where he like makes some weird face of like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro?
Because
but then it's like,
that is
what?
Okay, and this circles to like the number one thing that's attractive in any person to anybody ever. Confidence. Confidence is the sexiest thing that a person can like adorn. Like, it's the best. It's
and he knew. Best. I feel like he knew when Michelle was like, all right, I have to go talk to him. I think he knew that she was going to send his ass home. Like, straight up. Like, he was like, all right, go ahead. Go talk to him.
It's like, yeah, I'll be here. Well, because that's it. Is like he knows at that exact moment that his position is secured. Like whether
Especially
he even had a
after
rose or not, like he was
day portion.
right. Like he knows. Nate knows that Michelle really, really fucking likes him.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like he knows, and he also is not. Regardless of whatever happens with Chris, Nate's not going anywhere. So like, who could be bothered by Chris?
Exactly.
Bothered?
No, straight up. So, but yeah,
I'll see you next week at the best.
So
for you.
I have. Let me look at my notes for what the dumb shit that Chris says. Okay. He says he didn't get to speak with her, and I felt really played by the whole situation. Quote. She went on to Nate, or went over to Nate, cozied up with him, but he quote unquote warned her. Why'd you put a fake smile on at the group date with me? And I'm a little like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? You're an idiot. You're literally tanking it. And she basically goes into her whole, like, I don't need a man to speak with me for me, and sends him home. And yeah. Oh, wow. I have another note about how there's a weird Frankenbite when she gives Nate the rose. I can't remember what it was about. But yeah, it's just like, Chris fully did that Lieberman entitlement bullshit where you're like, you have to be this one. I expect you to be like this,
yes,
and do this for me, and reciprocate all this shit with me. Also, again, Libras on this show struggle because Libras are all about balance and equality, and they want somebody to be giving them the same amount of like energy that they want to give. And when that doesn't get to happen, especially if a Libra man has a bigger crush on someone than not, they get really controlling about it and weird because they're like, well, you should be treating me like this. And it's like, okay, shut up. Like, you're on a fucking show where you are one of many and she is the one. Like,
I never understand when these guys like don't get what's happening.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
You're like, we're like 20,000 trillion seasons into the show. And you still don't understand the concept?
Well, because everybody wants, whether they want to admit it or not, everybody wants that love story where it's like we locked eyes and I loved her and she loved me and no one else mattered and I wanted to be, you know what I mean? Like you sit there and you pine to be the one and like this shit. And that's not how it works because that's, unless you're like Claire, most people.
Well, she was 40, so... There's a different age of people who believe in all that shit.
If not even that, but it's like I'm not an idiot, and even if I make eye contact with you and I fall in love with you at first sight, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm the fucking bachelorette. You really think,
right?
Like, you know what I mean?
That I have 30 men that want me.
Right, and you have to play along because like this is literally your meal ticket for the next 10 years minimum.
Exactly.
Like,
but anyway, she sends his ass home. It's amazing, and but yeah, so Nate's whole part of this date, when they're on the lake thing and she has her friends there, I was like, oh man, him meeting the friends is clutch. But when
especially so early, I feel like.
I know, right?
Maybe it's also not that early.
They also ask, when they are asking him like all these questions, he answers every single one like the most perfect ever. I was so impressed by the way he basically rolled off everything. Like he didn't give anybody a 4TR. Like they were like, who's there for the wrong reasons? And he's like, whatever. Basically, he like rolled everything off. He was so slick. And even the question about like, oh, you thought you had it in the bag, and he goes, no. I just knew I was going to have a one-on-one date. That doesn't mean I have it in the bag. I knew I was confident in our connection. He just
the way it's supposed to be.
He spins it up perfectly. He's so smart. Oh God, I really just
Team Nate.
Love Nate.
I love you, Nate.
No, I am Team Nate. Deeply. I mean, I'm Team Rick, but I know Rick won't win. Right. But I'm Team Nate as far as like who will win.
We're Team Rick for Paradise.
And yeah, this is and then their night portion date is when Michelle talks about the relationship that made her so sick, essentially, that and they were like not sure what was wrong with her, and she realized that the relationship was physically hurting her body, which is it makes sense how things can physically manifest if they're that bad for you. But it's but we didn't get much from Nate that day. Like there was no, because I guess he kind of gave his whole my parents are divorced and stuff. I don't really open up very easily on the first episode. So, but that's also what made them be able to progress their relationship so quickly versus these other people who have to wait to drop their little stories.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, good shit. And then the cocktail party is pretty chill. Oh, and this is when we finally get the fucking fireworks. Also, did you notice that the matching in white was so, like... What?
No.
Olivia watching TikTok for sure. But they were matching in white that whole day, the second half, and then they were in front of the fireworks in this white, and I was just like, wow, this is...
We finally see what romance under fireworks is supposed to
Also,
look like
Michelle
on the
looked
show.
so cute, and like she was definitely loving how the fact that he's 6'8", and she got to she was fully doing a like kiss, like he's leaning
on the head.
His head
like,
was down and her head was up, and she's 6 something. Like it's like she must love. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like tall girls know when what it's like when you get to actually kiss someone that's of proper height. But yeah, all I have for the cocktail party is how Rick and her were so cute dancing outside to that man piano. Even though it was clearly a setup, the piano player, but they're just cute.
This is one of the few times where like we know we have feelings about who's gonna go far and like who's not, and what's realistic and what's not. But I would be fine with any of the remaining men kind of taking it.
Like, yeah, except Martin.
Well, yeah. But like okay, maybe not all the men then. We're not there yet. Almost all the men.
It's
like if Rick managed to pull through, great. I was sad to see.
So Clayton obviously is the bachelor, so he does not count. But Nate, Joe, Rick, Olu, Brandon, and Rodney, all of them seem
wonderful.
Good. Brandon, I'm still just like
Olu. Are you kidding me?
Olu.
Are you kidding me? We didn't even spend any time talking about Olu.
No, Swolu.
Call us.
Like seriously, he's so beautiful. Like literally, he's so beautiful. Jersey. Yeah. Oh.
My very first
Olu, where do you go out?
My very first note from last week was like, Olu's from Newark. Hello.
Oh my God. Olu is from Newark.
What?
Olu is from Newark.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Did we know that?
Yeah, I think you pointed it out.
Did I? Well, either way, Olu, where are you? Where do you go out in the city? I know you come to the city if you're from Newark.
We won't be creepy.
No, like, it's fine. You probably go out in the Upper West, or the West Side, fucking, the Village. You know, because everybody does.
You go to Kips Bay? I know you go to Kips Bay.
I wonder, I can't wait to see who all of these guys, like, when the guys that latch into
who they become after this.
So Rodney and her scream from the roof. This is where we have Martin. So Martin was an idiot at his one-on-one date and defended Jamie. And
Did you even know that they were that close?
No, because they don't show any of that shit. They weren't showing any of Jamie being friends. I think they were trying to do Jamie too dirty by saying, like, none of the men liked him, maybe. True. But also, if they showed him being friends with Martin, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, while watching, I'd be like, yeah, they both are assholes. Yeah. But Martin, on his one-on-one date, was very weird to be. I genuinely think that they were trying to axe Martin, and then she just gave him the rose.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know.
I can see it.
That date was meant to do it. But, so he defends Jamie, and Michelle was kind of like, what the fuck? And then gave him the rose anyway. And then says females in Miami are so high maintenance, I just want a man, or they just, a man doesn't have to do everything for them just because he's a man, and that women just are, need a lot of shit, and they are too much. And I'm just like, bro, what? I cannot believe she gave him a rose, and it wasn't even the last rose.
Do you know how much maintenance it is to maintain blonde hair that's not natural?
No, it's a lot. You have to dye it constantly. High maintenance.
Purple shampoo. Please, high maintenance women in Miami.
No, really though, absolutely. Do you know how often you have to shave an eyebrow slit to keep it before it grows back?
Get over yourself.
How often you have to shave the size of your head to keep that haircut?
How many sleeves you have to tear off of flannel shirts to maintain that wardrobe?
God damn it! What happened? What does he have against sleeves? Straight up. He was the one who ripped his fucking... No, he did the backflip. He didn't rip his sleeves.
Those are his workouts. That's how he gets those big muscles. It's just the... ripping
his sleeves every time! But no, it was so unfortunate. I hated that his one-on-one day he was wearing a sleeveless flannel. And he wasn't even wearing a sleeveless flannel, like...
I hated it.
With anything other than that.
He wears them open all the time. You know it. He wears that.
It's just open. Was one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, Michelle's a Gemini sun and an Aries Venus. And I'm like, girl, what is this taste? What are you into? This makes absolutely no sense. Also, Aries Venus, it's like into the fuckboy childlike idiot dude vibe.
Martin, let us know how many flannels with no sleeves and hoods you have.
I just feel bad for this poor sleeves.
Where'd they go?
Yeah.
Can you use them to clean at least? Do, like,
Right, like
can you
use them as
repurpose
rags.
them? Like,
Yeah, use them for something else. No, just a bunch
sew
of
them into
flannel
a quilt.
sleeves.
Like,
Whatever. What
perfect.
do the sleeves ever do to you? He doesn't even have arms.
Restrict
that are, like, breaking
visual
out
to
of
those big.
Yeah, no, ugh, but whatever.
Sorry,
But
Martin.
he.
You douche.
So Michelle was very like laughing awkwardly during that conversation, and then Martin went out and told a very different story to the men about the conversation.
Martin's
like,
a weirdo.
No, I was not down for this. And again,
And like
he
the
gets
not the
fucking,
good kind of weird.
He
Like
gets
the
the
bad
second to last rose over people like Leroy or Casey, who Casey was fine. Casey was the quintessential Taurus who was just like, I am couch, I am cozy, like give me a blanket. Like that was his every other word.
Running it back to like last week, fucking Chris G.
Oh, I was so sad that Chris G got sent home over Chris S. Chris G is such a sweetheart. I hope he's on Paradise and finds a sweet girl because he can read poetry too.
I hope he
His sweet Pisces Mercury
meets a girl that was too nice and too wholesome for Clayton on Paradise, and then they go
truly.
and they live and they recite spoken word to each other
Yes.
under the moonlight for the rest of their lives.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. But anyway, so the official people that have roses next week are Nick, Clayton, Joe, Rick, Olu, Brandon, Martin, and Rodney. And I hope Martin gives me something else to.
Yeah, we want
I
to
feel
like
like
you.
No,
Oh,
I don't.
I want to like you.
Next
I have
episode of Martin, I'm wondering if he'll just say something even more dumb. Like, I just feel like he can only keep getting dumber from here. Like, we started with, I'm going to defend an idiot who was trying to gaslight everybody, to, I'm going to say that all women are high maintenance in Miami, to now, like, what's next? You know? What's
the high
coming?
maintenance thing is so annoying, because, like, do you even know?
No, like,
do you even know what
men who
like,
say that,
shut
I'm
up.
like, I just think that high maintenance means, oh, she like wants me to like call her like once a day or something. And you're like, because you're dating, I assume.
Well, it's like, I consider myself low maintenance, but if you saw my fucking skincare routine that I do every night, you'd be like, oh.
No, low maintenance. It's just like there's
Like,
too many options for what could be low or high maintenance.
Exactly. Like,
no. And so yeah, Casey and Leroy were leaving, and the outro was Olu feeding Michelle that spicy food, and I felt so bad because Olu, who clear like African, is like feeding her this food, and she is from Minnesota. But no, honey, she's from Minnesota. I don't know if you get it, but Minnesota, they eat Jell-O in salads.
Oh, with the marshmallow fluff.
Yes, and love marshmallow fluff, Cool Whip, all that stuff. Like, I don't believe Michelle has ever had anything like.
Do you think
really
Michelle likes
spicy.
ambrosia salad?
Probably. Oh, hundo.
Michelle, do you like ambrosia salad?
My whole family loves it.
I know a lot of people that love it.
Minnesota has some similar stuff to the South.
I'm gonna put that on the story right now.
Do you think Michelle likes ambrosia salad? Probably though, but her mom is just like the whitest Midwest quintessential mom. Like when they showed her mom on the screen, I was like, this is every Midwest woman, and if you were from the Midwest, you know what I'm talking about, because for real. I lived in Missouri for a while, and we both did. All right, and it's just like
the food scene.
It's wild there. The food there. I mean, hey, I love a good fucking casserole. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no, comfort food is comfort food is comfort food.
Absolutely not. I give it to me. But yeah, like poor Michelle eating this African's food. I'm just like, oh no, honey. Oh no. But anyway, that's that. I think that Michelle, we were saying this, I love Michelle a lot, but her Gemini, her Aries, her like the dating habits, like it's just like I'm starting to see her a little more than just as like the super sweet teacher person, right? Like I'm starting to kind of understand, like, oh yeah, okay. Watching her date, I'm like, what is this choice of some of these men? But also, I know that it's all a show and the producers choose so much, but it's just, oh my God, it's hard to tell. She's just entertaining Martin for too long, girl. Why are you doing this? But
is it the producer rose? Let us know.
It wasn't even
Blink
the last,
3
but
times.
it wasn't even the last rose. Rodney's
I know.
was.
Oh my God, so annoying. Respect Rodney, please.
For real.
Like, come on.
But next week, I'm assuming we're gonna start getting into the close. You know, we're almost done with this. Before we get to hometowns, you know, we've got 10 guys left. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. Top 8. So we might have only one episode until hometown. She might knock 4 out.
Yeah, it feels so much earlier in the season than it actually
2 more.
is. Though.
Maybe there's 2 more. 1 more, and then 1 more episode.
I wonder.
With the 3-on-1 or whatever. Because there's usually a 3-on-1 or some shit before hometowns.
Okay, well, there's also been an increasingly, I don't know why I said it like that. I mean, it sounds
She
like I was
also
being
might
like,
dump
well.
them.
No, there's been a much fewer number of 2-on-1s.
Yes.
They're like really changing the format. I don't know why it took me so long to get there.
2-on-1s are pointless, I think, in a quarantine
shit because everything's a 2-on-1.
It's all just there.
They're all together all the time.
Yeah, so who knows? But anyway. Yeah, wow.
That's all I got.
That's all I got too, right? Wow, it's so fun to record together.
Featuring Olivia.
Featuring Olivia over there.
Guest star.
Hopefully we'll be able to actually hear them in the background. But featuring that and our massive charcuterie, which I'm going to keep eating all fucking night.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for coming over, Jess. Everybody, yes, thanks for listening. Subscribe, rate, things, do it, listen, go to follow the Instagram, do the Rose of the Line.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, you know, we're out here. We're having fun. I hope everybody's enjoying everything. I need some people to give me some. I need like more content. You know what I mean? I only have so much to astrologize lately. I'm needing more. The rivalries are always fun because then I can look at charts. But we're not going to get any rivalries, I bet, until
the guys need to be a little less boring, a little more telling.
They're all friendly with each other,
which we like, but
yeah,
spice it up.
I need some drama. Anyway, well, we're gonna go. Bye, guys.